So you set up your Google Ads campaign for your Shopify store. So now what? The setup and forget it approach isn't going to work. Simply enabling your campaign isn't enough, and it requires additional steps for you to see the results that you're expecting to get from Google Ads and the results your competitors are getting. Dive into me with this video, and I'm just going to cover some of the few things to consider when running a campaign and how you can do it yourself and when you need advice from a professional. So conversion tracking is one of those critical pieces for Google Ads campaign. Without conversion tracking, you can't use advanced maximize for conversion bidding strategies, you're not using the algorithm, and you're really leaving money on the table. If you want to use smart bidding or the AI-driven strategies, conversion tracking is a must. Simply setting up Google Analytics for your Shopify store isn't going to cut it in 2025. You're going to have to evaluate it and see if it makes sense with your analytics and dashboards. Without it, you're flying blind and you can't get an accurate profit on ad spend, return on ad spend, cost per acquisition, and all of these different factors that will enable you to really grow your ad account and make the investment worthwhile. Now you have to keep up with the ever-changing algorithm updates from Google. On average, Google is going to do about 9 algorithm updates a year. That's a lot. If you're not staying on top of trends and how that ties into Google Ads, well, you're likely going to be spending a lot more because things change. And if you're not adapting your website to these changes, well, it's going to impact your results. And I'm going to cover a couple of those now. What you really need to do is you have to test beta features. What I tell my customers is, how is Google still relevant? They're $250 billion in ad spend in a year. People keep investing and they keep growing. Well, there's a lot of factors at play here, but what Google likes to do is move the goalposts. So for instance, these volleyball fields behind me are stuck in the ground. If everybody's using the same volleyball fields, it gets predictive, it gets crowded, and there's really not much you can do. But if you move those goalposts, everyone's going to run to the new one. And if you have the first mover advantage, well, you can actually get some lemon juice out of that lemon you're squeezing when you're running your campaigns. And this is a plus because Google is constantly testing beta features. For example, expanded texts are obsolete in Google Ads, but many businesses are still running them. Google is eventually going to discontinue some aspects of it. And if you haven't looked in your ads account in years, in the minority of people that do that, well, it's better to stay ahead and adopt the best practices instead of getting left in the dark with obsolete technology. So you could be missing out on a lot of features such as advertiser verification, performance max, and Google's making it mandatory for verification, so this is nothing new. If you're in the good graces of Google, you're gonna actually get some traffic and benefit from it. You're gonna have to stay on top of search trends. You can actually review the search performance, see what the competitor share is going to be, and understand when you should be bidding, whether you should be running ads on holidays, which typically can be more expensive, and adapt your campaigns based off of that. You're going to have to update your account for new trends. You're going to have to pause irrelevant keywords. You're going to have to invest more into keywords that are bringing in results. And ultimately, this is how you're going to get a big boost in your Shopify ads campaign. So you also have to monitor for fluctuating cost per clicks. In the last 12 months, the average cost per clicks have gone up about 40% for some industries. For example, if you're in the SaaS or in the insurance industry, your clicks are expensive. They could be multi-dollars, multi-tens of dollars, sometimes as high as $100. It doesn't always happen, but if you're not on top of these fluctuations and your ad account is just spending, well, believe it or not, Google's gonna throw you in there and you're gonna pay more. So you wanna avoid these traps. And your competitors, it's an arms race. They can stay ahead of you no matter the cost. However, you need to squeeze that lemon even harder to get the best sales for your store in 2025. So the thing with cost per click is you have to allocate realistic budgets. And what I mean by realistic budgets is if your budget is too low, you're going to underspend and get poor results. You're going to get the bottom of the barrel results. But if you're overspending and you saturate it, and what I mean is if your budget will get you 100 clicks and there's only 100 available clicks and you're gonna spend more, well, you're gonna end up paying more for those 100 clicks. So you have to monitor that range. There isn't a spend to infinity equation here. You just have to find all of these different opportunities, and you dig a trench and you pick that keyword and you continue to run your campaigns. One of the most advanced tactics to Google Ads is critical thinking. You're going to have to refine your keywords consistently. You're going to look at the relevance, the performance, and you have to refine them by pausing them, add new ones based off of emerging trends because things change. Optimize ads and landing pages because your keywords have to be aligned with your landing pages, have to be aligned with your ads. If you're consistent with what you're doing and you're aligning everything, you're maintaining a high ad quality score. You've probably seen that little 10 out of 10, and really some common issues affecting your score are going to be incomplete ads. For instance, if you're doing search ads, responsive search ads, you need 15 headlines and 4 descriptions. If you're using irrelevant extensions, if you're a Shopify store and you have a call extension and you don't have a call center or nobody's picking up that call, well, you're going to be paying for phone calls. So be mindful of that. If your landing page does not align with your ads, your keywords, and your website where you're sending traffic, well, that can be problematic because Google is going to send a robot to your website and rank the landing page experience, and you want that to be out of a 10 out of 10. You want it to be above average. So the Google algorithm is going to signal that you're very relevant for these keywords. Therefore, you have priority, you have lower cost per clicks, and you have an advantage of getting the best traffic first. If you have higher quality scores and you're increasing visibility, this is overall going to help your campaigns. You want to avoid blindly applying Google recommendations. This is the most expensive thing you can do in your ad account. Not only can it increase costs, it could leave a bad taste in your mouth and deter you from continuing with Google Ads. We've seen a lot of clients that try to do it themselves and they bite off too much for them to chew. And those recommendations are a honeypot, which at the end of the day, you get traffic. But especially so, Google gets more ad budget from you and helps their bottom line, and it doesn't help your bottom line. Automatic recommendations can harm your business. Broad match keywords can waste your budget. You can be getting people that are searching for your business. For example, you sell shoes, you might be getting people looking for running tips and how they're running with their shoes, or techniques with their shoes, or how to maintain their shoes. Things that don't lead to a transaction, they're more informational support. So you have to align with transactional keywords or keywords that will bring you closer to the decision makers to making that purchase on your website. Oftentimes, Google will like to push you into display. Display ads, banner ads, pop-up ads are not effective anymore unless you're using Performance Max, where it can do more personalization and actually show you products. A good example is if you're looking for some products and you get that shopping feed pop up on different websites, those are display partners. If you're enabling display partners, you can't guarantee the quality of the website where your ads are going. You might be getting traffic that's in Bangladesh that visits a particular website that doesn't help you at the end of the day. So really maximize your ad campaigns by using the Google network, not the partners network. I mentioned again the poor alignment between ads, keywords, and landing pages. This affects your quality score. Typos sometimes happen, and it's okay. You can go in there and fix it. In some cases, typos can lead to traffic if somebody misspells a brand, and that's worth considering. But for ads, you're paying for professionalism. Avoid this. Just constantly do a checkup. It's okay if you do a typo. You can fix it, you can pause it, and eliminate it. Now, higher quality scores do lead to more visibility, but these search partners you're going to always have to evaluate recommendations to make sure you're getting the best results. And if you're getting those recommendations, try to research it and do it yourself. Don't let a machine do it automatically, because this is your money. Do you trust a machine to manage your money? So you're going to have to make sure you're doing constant monitoring for your ads, policy violations, and things like that. Little silly things where you might need to do a little extra work with Google. You might need to tweak your ads because in certain industries you can't use certain language and adjust from there. So take a look one by one on those ads. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes you get those notifications. It could be overwhelming with how many notifications you get from Google, but you really have to review all of your campaigns, your ad groups, your keywords, your ad copy, your extensions, all those little tabs in your dashboard one by one to get a full sense of what you need to do in order to get the best results from Google Ads in 2025. One of the most common ones is if your billing is suspended, you run some campaigns, you've got a balance of Google, and there's a mismatch of your business address or your credit card is expired. You have to make sure you update that in a timely manner, because if you are suspended and you try to circumvent the system and create a new ad account, you're just going to get another ad account suspended. And we've had situations with some clients, very few actually, that have multiple ad accounts and multiple places, and it can lead to a lot of conflict. You don't want to be dealing with administrations and Google supports, because that could take weeks and months to resolve before you can successfully run a Google Ads campaign. Everything we do in Google Ads is a split test. You're split testing ads, keywords, landing pages, ad copy to determine what's the best. Because if you don't have a split test running, for instance, just 2 ads running against 1 keyword is a typical best practice, and it always has been for a really long time. You'll find out which of those ads is going to produce the best results, so you can continue to invest in the right keywords for your business. You want to make sure you're refreshing your campaigns to run the best ads. You want to constantly be touching your account, and by constantly, I mean quarterly or monthly. If you're spending more, you're spending more time in your Google Ads account. And that's, I'll give you a limit, like up to 10K a month in Google Ads, you only need to be in there a couple times a month. There's really nothing you can do. You have to wait for the ads to run their course. So one of the things to consider is budget allocation is key. Avoid overfunding low priority campaigns. Avoid overfunding low priority campaigns like display, and make sure it's not cannibalizing search, especially if you're running different campaigns, you have different ad groups doing different things, you can cannibalize it. It's better to break it down and segment your ad groups and your ads and have a pretty good structure. This is where you need to do a little research and account structure. It's not hard, and depending on your business, you can set that up pretty quickly, because remember, your budget is going to be global, then you have your campaign budgets, and what's happening in those campaigns is how you really turn the dials and make sure you're prioritizing the right ads and keywords. So a little more about account structure. You want to make sure you're avoiding using the same keyword in duplicate campaigns. For instance, if you're copying the same thing into multiple places, well, believe it or not, you're going to bid against yourself, you're going to increase your costs, and you're going to get worse results. You also want to make sure you're not duplicating services or adding too many services in your ad groups, because that can also hurt results. You want to be laser focused with what you're doing. And if you're overloading your ad groups with too many keywords and you don't have a big budget, well, nothing's going to happen, and you're just going to get random clicks from random keywords, and you won't know heads from tails. So you have to do regular campaign optimizations, and I said, a couple times a month, monthly or quarterly is fine. You have to do optimizations in your ad account, your keywords, you have to do competitor analysis, and you also have to optimize your landing page, because if you're optimizing your landing pages, that's really where all the money is. Not only are you going to increase your quality score, you're also going to get that net benefit of SEO traffic, because if you're ranking for SEO traffic, that's one way you can cut your costs for Google Ads. And a lot of the time, our customers are doing both Google Ads and SEO, because that's the best combo to be found on search ads in 2025. Now, some questions to evaluate your account yourself if you need professional help. Are your keywords broad match? Do you rely on auto suggestions, and have you done that before? Is conversion tracking set up properly? Is your Shopify dashboard saying something else than your Google Analytics? Are your ads marked as low, good quality instead of excellent? That could be a big thing that is eating away at your budget. Are you getting into irrelevant and low intent traffic? Irrelevant traffic is somebody that's not looking for a transaction, somebody that's not looking for a product. You have to be aware of what your traffic is doing, and you have to eliminate it quickly, because you're paying for it. And are you confident about your daily budget and rate of return on ad spend. If you don't have an accurate rate of return on ad spend, you're definitely bleeding money or you're losing traffic because of conversion tracking. And that's the first thing you can solve with your campaign to get the best results. If you answered no to any of these questions, you definitely need help from a professional, and that's something we can take a look at and do an audit in your Google Ads account. So just drop a comment here or reach out, and I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this with anybody you think could get the most out of their Google Ads from this advice.